What's going on, guys? My name is Shay and welcome back to your altcoin daily news. In today's video, we're going to look at Bitcoin and how you can make $300 within 30 minutes. Easy money if you use appropriate indicators and learn how to recharge properly. So we'll be going over that, and I want to go over how you could have played the retracement of Bitcoin last night. That huge dip we saw, how you could have understood and shorted Bitcoin at that moment. So let's get straight into the video. First and foremost, I hope everyone survived that huge dip we saw last night in Bitcoin and you guys are looking at how to short Bitcoin last night. Before we get into that, I want to see what's happening with Bitcoin right now. And I want to show you exactly how I made that $300 within the last 30 minutes, okay? So as you guys know, there's multiple indicators you can use. And the main ones I use is the MACD, looking at the 1 minute chart, the MACD, the RSI, and the moving averages. And the moving averages, you can tell 55, 21, 13, and 8. So using these simple indicators, you can tell a lot about Bitcoin. You can read a lot into Bitcoin and how the charts are moving using simple indicators. So if you guys didn't know, MACD, if you want to see an uptrend in MACD, you want to see the convergence of blue going up and orange going underneath. This is where you buy, correct? So if you bought right here when you saw the divergence happening or the crossover happening, you buy right here and then you sell off when this divergence or crossover again happens, correct? So let's just see how much you could have made in that point. Not saying that I got in at that point, but just telling you if you did, what profits you could have made. So let's go here. You would have bought at this point, correct? Right here. And where would you have ended up? You would have ended up right around here, right? You would have ended up right around here. Okay? That's $80. Looking at just the MACD alone, you could have made $80 right there. Going strictly off of MACD. Correct? However, you are missing out on all this profit though. Looking at about $150. Correct? That's when all the other indicators come into play and all the other techniques we should be using to get the most out of our profits, correct? The next thing I want to show you guys is RSI. And this dotted line that I have here is a resistance level that I've seen on the 1 minute charts multiple times, over and over again. I've seen Bitcoin bounce off of these 1 minute 1 minute resistance level right here for the RSI. It's about 44 levels or units, and constantly right here, and right here, just constantly bouncing off of it. And whenever it does break underneath, we see huge volume spikes and we see a huge downtrend. However, if we are looking at the RSI above here, it keeps bouncing off and we still keep seeing strength. Yes, we see ups and downs on the 1 minute chart. However, it just keeps bouncing off of here. Correct? So that's an amazing line to look at if you guys want to be trading on the 1 minute chart. It's a line that I've drew out that I see multiple times. So let's get straight into how I made the $300, okay? Now that we saw the indicators and you guys know about the moving averages, the last indicator that I have on here, the 55, the 21, the 13, and the 8, just always remember when you see 55 well below the other three lines and they're diverging the correct order, whether that be yellow, green, blue, if we see this diverging properly, it means that there's an uptrend happening and you should be getting in around this point. You should only be selling when you see divergence like this. Do you see how all the yellow, green, and blue crossed over the red line and the red line went above? That's when you know it's a decline. But when you see this, you should be looking into investing at that point. Not saying it's always going to be the case, because sometimes you can have sideways moves and you can go here and then across, but this is where all the other indicators come into play. Looking at the volume, looking at the RSI and the MACD and how it crosses over, you can play the moving averages very well. So what I did was I got in at this price point. Let me bring out the long tool. I got in at this price point. because I saw the moving average diverge well away from the yellow, green, and blue, and I was seeing that the RSI was trending upwards. It bounced off of here and was moving up. Okay, it was moving up, and the MACD was crossing over right at that point. Let me draw it in for you guys so you can see. The MACD was crossing over right at that point. Okay, so looking at simple indicators and understanding how they work, I put a position in at this point. Okay, so I went long right around here, and I sold off right at the peak. I was watching it, and I sold off right around here. So that's $85. You asked me, but you said 300. Remember, I play with margin trading. So that 85 is technically 3 times 3 times 3.3 my profits. So 85 times 3.3, and that is $300. Roughly around $300. That's what I made within. Let's look at when I went in and when I pulled out. That is 12:17 or 12:18, and we ended at 12:27. Almost 20 minutes. 20 minutes. I say 30 minutes because it took me an extra 10 minutes to understand what was happening and then put my trade in. However, technically it took 20 minutes to see that swing trade profit. Correct? Massive gains. Massive gains. And I want to show you why I also thought this was wave 1 and 2. So if you look closely, we saw that, let's go ahead and look at the 5-minute chart now. We saw that this was a resistance point. Because we saw volume around here beforehand, and secondly, but most importantly, is the fact that we saw this being a Fibonacci retracement line right here, the 236, an amazing line to be looking at. And how did I get to this, you asked me? I looked at the overall picture. Let me get into auto so we can go deeper. I looked at the whole picture, the whole retracement from this retracement point right here, 6,043, to the top where we saw that divergence happen last night. So I did my Fibonacci retracement 0 to 1, and we want to see how much the retracement can actually go to. And these are actually levels you should be looking out for. Resistance, huge resistance points you should be looking out for. What's going to be happening at these resistance points? Can it bounce off? What activity does happen around there? These are huge points that you should be looking at. Huge bulges that will have definite activity around. You know? Huge resistance levels that will have definite activity around for sure. Let me just draw in for you guys the last part. Right? So if you look closely, what happened at the 236 level? What happened at the 236 level? It bounced right off. We saw a little bit of extra wicks go underneath, but ultimately it bounced right off. And that's a huge resistance point if you look at it, right? A huge resistance point. And so let me go back to looking at the 15-minute. Did you see how it bounced right off? So what happened is, since that huge divergence that we had last night, we can see an Elliot Wave right here. We played this Elliot Wave last night too. We saw 1 to 2, and once that, let me get into 5 minutes so we can show you a bit better. Can I show you here, or would 3 minutes be better for you guys? Yeah, okay. So 3 minutes, or actually no, let's stick with 5 minutes. So if you guys can see, or show 1 minute. Let me see, hold on. Let me see so I can tell you guys exactly how I played it, so you guys can see. Yeah, now this one tells it a little bit better. So if you guys look, right, if you guys go ahead and look, you guys can see that wave 1 was here, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5. And how do you play this downtrend? First off, you know that this was wave 5, right? Actually, yeah, let me get into that now because I'm already here. So let me get into why I thought that was wave 5. So that definitely needs an enlargement of the charts. Okay, as you can tell, this being wave 5, we could have said that this could be wave 3 if we counted 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and then a 5 should have went up. However, looking at the overall retracement and the overall count for Elliot Wave, we believe that this was the count. They could have been multiple counts. Remember, Elliot Wave is subjective. It's how you see it, and that's one of the downfalls of Elliot Wave. But it works so well when you know what you're doing. When you combine it with indicators and volume and understanding how it works, then you get really good at it. But the only downfall at the beginning is it's very subjective, and you got to understand how to count it properly. So looking at Elliot Wave, we understood that this was wave 5, and this is where it was going to end around. We believe it was going to end around a little bit earlier, but looking at Elliot Wave, we didn't know the exact price point. I thought it was around 11,700, around that price point, strictly due to, let me get the 1 hour chart out so you guys can look at it easily. Okay. Actually, no, not 1 hour, 15, because then you can actually see the Elliot Wave within the or 5 minute. Sorry, I just wanted to show you guys properly so you guys can understand exactly what I see. Okay, do you see 5 waves within this Elliot Wave? Yes, we do. We see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Correct? We see 5 waves within wave 4 to 5. And you know, if that is the case, if it's superimposed within a wave, you know for sure that that is a count, and that is gonna be accounted for when the superimposed Elliot Wave is done at wave 5, and then this being wave 5 on the bigger scale. The minute you realize that's the case, you know there's going to be a huge retracement. A, B, C, correct? Within that A, you can see a superimposed Elliot Wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And why do you ask me that I believe this was wave 5 and where it was going to end? So if you go ahead, right, if you go ahead and draw, hold on, sorry. If you go ahead and draw lines converging in, we can see multiple things happening here. One line converging in this way, right? And then one line converging in this way. Let me draw this, let me change the color of this line so you guys don't get confused. Let me put this to orange. And then a second orange line converging in this way, right? Don't you see a wedge pattern being formed? Right? And you saw a wedge pattern being formed, and it was ultimately going to bust either through it, which was not going to be the case. A, because this resistance point right here, this purple line that has been drawn. See, now I'm getting drew and drawn mixed up in the opposite order. But if we see the purple line right here, that was drawn from the top of Bitcoin when it was around 19,000 and hitting various points on the way down. We knew that there's no way it was going to pass this because we were going on a huge run right now and there was no huge retracement, right? And this wedge right here was converging in. We saw the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the minute that 5 wave hit, everything just corrected down, and people that shorted Bitcoin around this price point made massive profits. And then you could have played this too, and you know how to play this. I taught you guys in another video how to play the one-to-one extensions. If you guys want to go look at that, go look at my I think 2 videos ago where it's titled how to make $1,000 daily. Go ahead and look at that. I'm not going to go into that today. If you guys want to learn how to go over one-to-one extension, how to play this down wave right here, go ahead and go check the video that I uploaded just 2 days ago. So go ahead and check that. With that being said, right, I drew the Elliot wave that I believe would be the case. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, correct? Right here. And we see a resistance point around here that I drew out too. This resistance point was due to Fibonacci retracement, and I believe that wave 5 was going to end up or somewhere around here using Fibonacci, correct? And look what happened at Fibonacci. Look what happened at that Fibonacci retracement at wave 5, wave 5's peak. We saw a huge spike down. We saw that it did not want to go past this wave 5 or this resistance level, and we saw a huge spike down. We've yet to see what will happen around here. Time will only tell, you know? And the last part that I want to go over was, if you see this being 5 waves, this is superimposed within the greater ABC correction. A, B, C. And this C is right here, this wave that's going up right now. Right? How far can we see the C wave going up before we start seeing another downtrend? Correct? Not putting any FUD, not saying anything. Remember what I told you, the resistance point using Fibonacci? We can definitely see those resistance points being hit. Let me get out of it quickly so I can show you guys. These resistance points can easily be hit right here. 9,500, right? Now 8,900. These points within these ranges can easily be hit if we continue on this bearish side. Okay, so before I leave, let's quickly go over yeah, why not, let's look at Litecoin quickly, and let's look at how everything is being played. Remember, once you saw that huge retracement, I haven't touched Litecoin or anything in a little while, to be honest. Look, these are charts from back in the day. I haven't really touched any of these. I just been playing with Bitcoin. I just been shorting, and because Bitcoin has so much momentum right now, I just haven't really touched anything else. I know I'm missing out on a lot of profits, but what can I say? I've just been focused on Bitcoin. And you can see that this was the downtrend that happened last night. The minute Bitcoin goes on that decline, just pull out of any positions you have and start shorting. Start shorting. We see that we're looking at 3 waves. Where's my toolbar? We're looking at 3 waves down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? What's going to happen? Where can we see these extensions to? If we use simple Fibonacci retracement, right, we can see number 3. I'm not looking at the exact values, I'm just eyeballing right now. We can see 3 go down to somewhere around here, a 1-to-1 extension to in between the 786. So somewhere in between here, circling between 200 and 193. I believe it will be closer to the one. Sorry about that. And then we're gonna see Bitcoin. No, sorry, when he looked at Bitcoin Neo, same thing. Just go ahead and look at how I just played the Elliot Wave on here and do the Fibonacci retracement again. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys do that because I know you guys are capable people and you guys are very smart, because I know being in this space, you gotta learn about a lot and just be patient with your money. And I know you guys will be able to understand what I'm teaching you guys, and if you don't, go ahead and ask me a question down below. No one's been asking any questions lately, and I want you guys to ask me questions if you don't understand something, right? Same thing with Ethereum. 1, 2, 3, okay? So that being said, that brings me to the end of this video. Please go ahead and look at charts and really understand how charts are being formed, looking at various indicators, moving averages, the RSI, the MACD, and continue to read and learn. Always play with smaller margins if you guys are new, and then eventually get to bigger margins so you can make bigger profits. Always manage your risk properly. Don't put all your margin, all your equity into one trade right away, because you can lose all that right away as well. You can gain 3.3 times and then you can lose 3.3 times. Just be wary about that. And like always, if you guys like the content and you guys do like me uploading every single day, please go ahead and subscribe, hit that like button, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.